Hello, everyone, and welcome to the month of March already. I'm Katara, and this is a monthly light language transmission and a few messages to share. And so I'll start with the transmission. You can experience it, feel it as if it was like a meditation, and really just notice all the things that arise. It's my expression of the energies and messages that are coming through right now. And I just love playing with sound, and I love feeling frequencies and energies and finding that way, that unique expression to bring it into something vocal. And of course, it's energetic. So really notice how it makes you feel. And then at the end of it, I'm just going to share a couple messages for the month. All right. So wherever you are, just allowing yourself to come into your own sacred space. And today's theme, to me, the words that came through were really about letting the star light to guide you, letting the star light to guide. And so may the frequencies help us to connect to our path of light and to connect back into the stars, into the galaxies, into the wonder of the cosmos. And may we feel that with every breath, and may we experience that in our bodies. And so you can listen to this with your eyes closed and really pay attention to what moves within you, to what images and sounds and things come to mind. And so I like to say a little prayer for myself, for us. And so you might like to repeat it as well. And it's may the path of light guide and protect and see, sense, feel that light from the cosmos and from earth is enveloping you all around. And even though we are all saying the same prayer, that each of us have this path of light that helps us to align into our greatest and highest timelines. Uriashiata saati. Uriashiata sia aria. Uriatiashanta ampeakia sa ashi tirakak ansa. Eya satiasa uweya tiansa. And sa. And allow these sounds of curiosity be an invitation for you to relax more into the physical body. The body is the vessel for these divine energies to be held. And if you'd like to sway a little and come into more comfort, Eria shianta akia kaswa. Irianta ari ashianta asiata. Ianka. Iankariaka sa ea. Uea shiata a. Ueata. Uriata asiata amea shia se eata era heti ueanta asi. Ariana shiata antiansa ariata asiantasa. Antiansa. O aria yasa uate. Oriasa ea. Horita saya heya toru. Iansa te yaku. Yantan sariku Heyanti sariku Esha Heyan shaku Heyan shaku Riyan sankuwan Heyan shaku Heyan yanku Harian sankeyantu Ariantashuantiasa akiaka ueansa te arantia kueantian oriansa oriansa Orian santia sheta a ianta aria kiaka sukoriaka shi. Orianta sa ea teatariaka sa uea ta ea shenta asa ki teka arekiaka soterakiaka ueanta. Ueanta. For myself and for everyone, I invite you to really notice what happens in the body and to give it that contemplation during, after, if you listen to it again. And even for myself, as I'm bringing messages through, I like to listen again as well and then experience it and get another layer of it. Listening to the transmission to me feels different than being the channel for it. And so just very subtly on the surface, it feels like there's a lot of this weaving, like I'm suturing in and weaving in different frequencies, whatever is available for you now. I feel like there is quite a bit of heart opening, expansion energy, a lot of permission giving, and just lightness and joy. And so may you weave those things consciously and unconsciously, energetically into your being, and seal that, tether that into the ground. Uyan shenta ashiata asya akiaka oryakiasa uwe anyantasa o watayashaka asyata. And just take a few breaths with me as we let that settle and ground, and as I share a few messages for you. All right, this is take 2 for the messages. The computer and devices or myself were overheating outside, so here we go again. So the first message of this month is to explore the stars. Explore the stars. Now, I've often been very interested and curious about the sky, the stars, astrology even. But it hasn't been until recently where I've given myself the permission to, and also the focus to actually explore the stars. And so that might mean different things to you. Maybe it is in the field of astrology and paying more attention to what's happening in the skies. Maybe for you, it's hearing, seeing, sensing more of the information out there around star seeds and star nations, and resonating and connecting with that and feeling into the relevant information for your star remembrance. So those are kind of the themes very present in my own exploration, and everything about Awakening Dragons, this brand, this social media, Instagram, is about my own personal blog of how do we embody that multidimensionality? How do we embody the wisdom of the stars? And that was actually the last podcast, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. So be curious about the star energy. See what actually piques your curiosity. Maybe it's actually in the form of painting, or maybe it actually is in light language and expressing those frequencies in these funny, different ways. Maybe you want to say, if I were to dance to the stars, what would that look like? And allow your body to move. In my journey and teaching of embodiment, I never really feel that there's any one way that you can do anything. So exploration and curiosity and that creativity aspect is so important for each of us to find, how do we express that energy? Is it coming easily through voice, through communication? Is it coming easily through movement, through your dance, through your cooking even, right? And so you might see people who are sharing, teaching, practicing these wisdoms and in a very particular way, right? You've got a YouTube channel, or maybe you've got a course, or maybe you talk about astrology in a certain way, but there is no one way to connect to and to express these energies. And that's important to remember. So even though I might say, oh, it's a star energy, let me make that, let me bring that through in a light language, yours may be entirely different. And that it really comes out when you're playing with the children. It really comes out when you're cooking a meal because that's what you love to do. Food is your medicine. So it doesn't matter what we do in our day-to-day, we can be connecting to that energy easily and expressing it very differently from one another. So exploring the stars, connecting to these planets, star nations, constellations, all that is in the cosmos. I am just broadly calling that exploring the stars, okay? The second message I have for you this month is a beautiful quote by the Sufi poet Rumi. And you might already know it, but the wound is where the light enters. And as I say that, I can just see this crack in this object, looks like a sphere, and literally like an egg. As it cracks, it's like the light is not seeping in, but it's actually seeping out. Looks like it's coming out. And so recently, Chiron, which is the archetype, the wounded healer, has moved into Aries. Now you can go ahead and look that up and what it means for you. Perhaps you don't even know what Chiron is. Go and run a natal chart and look at the placement of Chiron and then do some Googling, okay? So my Chiron is in the 10th house and it's in the sign of Taurus and all the things that means for me. And why I'm sharing this message now is because as soon as Chiron moved into Aries, I just felt like I was noticing more some of the themes that ordinarily would come up in that wounding of whatever 10th house is related to, in the house of career, in the house of profession, how we show up in the public sphere, and being valued for that. And so I felt a lot of things niggling at me that were really 10th house related. And then because I remembered that Chiron had just moved, I just started paying more attention to it. And so whether it's your first time hearing of the Chiron or you've been aware of it all your life, tend to it. Come back to it if there's a deepening to explore that lesson or gift. See how that wounding can transform from the thing that you're most gutted by, hurt by, can't heal from, which I don't believe, and transform that into the gift and into the medicine that you can offer onwards. And what was interesting in one of the videos that I was watching, this astrologer was sharing that Chiron wound becomes that place of, even though maybe for the rest of life it stays tender and you keep peeling back the onion and doing the spiral journey inwards, even though that wound is still present, it becomes your greatest gift to offer to others. The same things that may still plague you and that you haven't quite all figured it out. So 10th house, I don't feel sometimes that I have it all figured out and that I feel valued for what I offer and what I do, especially very publicly. Yeah, I don't feel necessarily very safe and grounded and supported in it all. That's the Taurus part of it. The I'm not enough wound is my Chiron in Taurus in the 10th house. And yet, so often, a lot of the students and clients that come to me have exactly the same underlying energies, right? Not just that one, but I see the theme because it's the thing that you have been working on for so long, that you've gone through iteration and iteration, transformation after transformation, that probably where you think that you still haven't gotten to the destination, and I'm not sure that we ever really do, that you can still help so many people from it. That's when the wound can transform into being the gift and the medicine that you have to offer. So come, have a look at not just the Chiron, but all the things that you might consider to be your woundings. And really see for yourself, pat on the back of how many people you have been able to help. Because you have healed that wound. You have integrated those teachings. You have embodied those wisdoms. So the wound is where the light enters, okay? But it actually did look like it was, the light is within and it emerges from that place. What's inside is outside. As above, so below. It's important to remember that as well. And the last message I have this month is hold the sword of truth. Hold the sword of truth. Now, late last night, I was already feeling this energy coming in and wanting to be shared. So for the last week, I've been dreaming of Black Dragon. And in my teachings, you know, one of my teachers has shared, oh, okay, so black and the white dragon, and I resonate deeply with being a white dragon. You know, that could be that oneness that separates into black and white, into light and dark, into masculine, feminine, right? When wholeness split into this duality in our universe. And so the white dragon very much could be the feminine, the light, and the black could be that masculine and the other side, right? And so I wondered, are my dreams showing me the wounding and helping me to integrate my inner masculine? And everything is symbology, right? The subconscious communicates in imagery, in feelings. And so we have to become more skilled and adept at the awareness and cultivating our library of symbology and really strengthening our intuition as well. So I wondered about that inner masculine. And so the answers weren't clear. But then this morning I woke up and I felt Archangel Michael coming. And I then had that aha, because the link was already made for me before, that the energy of Archangel Michael is actually the black dragon. And then I saw Michael holding the sword and the words that came through, the sword of truth. And an interesting thing to notice as a reminder and as a tip now to anyone who's listening, follow your own guidance, your own intuition on the meaning and interpretation of something, especially if it's coming to you. And so even though, yes, I saw Black Dragon and then I saw Archangel Michael, yes, okay, there's that teaching that was in my knowledge helped me put those pieces together. And I saw the sword and I know that Michael carries a sword, but I don't actually know in my knowledge what that sword is. And rather than going right away to Google and looking up what's that sword mean, what's the message here, I was feeling, okay, it might mean different things, but the message that was for me and for me to give to you is that the sword is about really holding and wielding that as a sword of truth. And as you discern and come onto your own path and deepen on your own process of embodying your multidimensionality, your wisdom, and all the energies that you're weaving, into self, into becoming more whole, it's important that you follow your own path of light. Your own path of light. And not everyone's personal truth is going to be your truth. And not everyone's personal truths are going to be aligned to universal truths. And that's what I teach also in my Qigong course, Qigong for Lightworkers, when we align to the path of light. And this is the Hermetics teaching, the Hermetics philosophy. When we're tethered to that highest place, it will always, it feels like it always kind of aligns in your personal revelations and your personal truth. It aligns to universal truths. And so we might receive those messages and express and embody them slightly differently, but universal truths, right? The broad truths for everyone, that whole truth for everyone. So holding the sword of truth is a message for you to do the practices, tether yourself to the highest places so it doesn't just become your own reality and your own reality created in your mind. Like, how are you coming onto the universal paths of truth so that as we ascend in our personal journeys, it is also the collective that also ascends and evolves together in the collective journey. So I hope that that transmission has served you. I'd love to hear and see in the comments what you felt, what you experienced, and how these messages resonate with you for the month ahead. It's probably going to be very fast-moving energies for the coming months as we enter into eclipse season in April and other things. So just stay centered. Be in your practice. Cultivate the light. Cultivate Qi. Go and check out my Qigong for Lightworkers course. I've got a freebie masterclass where I talk about it. Be true to our heart-centered being and be ready to welcome more of self home. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you very soon.